Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Zebu Nation Plays the FM Scout Academy Challenge with FC Dallas. It's Season 10 Champions League time. That's right, all in for the Champions League, and here we are, the quarterfinals, second leg versus Tigres. Let's go back to the schedule. In case you missed the preseason spectacular where we played the first leg of this challenge, if you saw that episode, you saw that we came away with a 2-2 home draw versus Tigres. Very exciting, very action-packed episode. So I won't run through the highlights here. If you want to see the highlights, you can go back and watch the previous episode. But you will see that Tigres went up on us very, very early. They scored in the 10th minute and the 14th minute, and kind of thought that all hope was lost. But then we came back. We changed our tactics. We changed our mindset. We got into a better mood, and we attacked them. We went after them a little bit. Alcantara got us one goal back in the first half, so we were only 2-1 down after the first half, and then Washington pulls away with the second goal to even up the score. We had a couple of yellow cards, but other than that, it was a pretty cleanly played game. We had some pretty good ratings, decent midfield. Our defense played okay, especially Stuart Cole got the assist there, but our strikers is what really did it for us. Alcantara and Washington coming through in the big game when we really needed them. The only thing we couldn't do is we couldn't stop their striker, Armando Gonzalez, who had an 8.8 rating and 2 goals against us. One of them I thought was pretty lucky. His first goal I thought was pretty lucky. So all in all, I thought we played pretty well. We just got off to a bad start. But we are set up to win in the second leg. It's not like last year where we went down, 3-1 in the first game. So, this year we've got a much better chance. We got, pretty much a 50-50 chance to come out of this game with a win and advance to the semifinals of the Champions League. So hopefully we can do that. Now, since that last game, there's been some good news and there's been some bad news. So first of all, let's check out the good news and take a look. There's been a patch, I guess, between then and now. It must have been in the middle of the day here. There's been a patch which fixed our allocation bug, because if you notice here, it says available at the start of the season, negative $778,772,000 negative. Now available now, $0. So a patch came through. Something must have happened to fix that allocation bug. I don't know what, because we certainly didn't make $2 billion between this morning and this afternoon. So what we did do, however, is we came up against the MLS salary cap. So there's about a week to go between when they fix this bug. In terms of game time, I'm talking. In game time, there's a week to go between when this bug got fixed and when the MLS registration was, which happened to be, I think, yesterday in game time. So anyway, we had a week to get our salary cap in order and to sort of pay down a bunch of salaries. This year, I've been so focused on getting ready for the Champions League, I kind of forgot to send some guys out on loan, and there weren't a lot of teams really that were looking for some of our players out on loan. It's been a bad year for loans, a bad year for trades, for transfers, all that stuff. Nobody wants to move. Nobody wants to do anything. So what I've had to do is I went out and made a lot of trades for my draft picks and other resources like international slots. So if we go to the transfers here and we go to the transfer history and the trades, look at all of these trades. We traded away a bunch of 4th round picks and we got a bunch of money, and we used that money to to buy down a bunch of our contracts. That allowed us to keep a lot of our expensive players, our expensive bench players, who we're going to have to get rid of soon because they're getting older, but I wanted to keep them around for this Champions League run, one last Champions League run. So because of that, we're going to be letting go several of our 23-year-olds, basically, that crop from a few years ago that just didn't pan out, honestly. They're like 2.5-star guys, most of them. They've run out of potential. They're just going to be average bench players for the rest of their careers. So we've had to cut them. There's just no way around it. We've got to let them loose for salary cap reasons, for roster space reasons. They're just not going to be around. So several of them are going to be going into the end of, well, I don't know what they call it, the second waiver draft. There's a name for it. Anyway, they're going to be going into the waiver draft, and that's where they're going to have to live and see if they get drafted by another team. If not, maybe once our salary cap issues, once we trade away some of these older players after the Champions League run, maybe we can go out in free agency and get them back, or just wait. I don't know, because it's going to be an interesting year because we've traded away a ton of draft picks. As you can see, we just sort of have our basic picks left to us. Really, this year we've got a first, second, and third. Next year we've got a first, 2 seconds, and a third. And then the year after that we got a first and 2 seconds. So not a lot of draft picks going on here. And we don't have a lot of international slots available yet because we trade them away 2 years at a time. So those players are, or those slots are out there with other teams for another year. So I don't know. We're going to have to rely on our juniors, which is not looking too happy. So it's kind of like what I mentioned in the previous episode. If you didn't see the previous episode, we're kind of starting back at home plate. It's starting over, back to the drawing board, all those cliches. That's where we're at. But before we get to that step, before we start cleaning house and acquiring new draft picks and clearing out our junior academy and doing all that stuff we did in the very first season, before we do that, we got to take care of the Champions League. So let's do this one last hurrah, Season 10. Take a look at the Champions League and see where we're at. So FC Dallas and Tigres 2-2 draw. It's going to come down to a pretty interesting home match for Tigres. Montreal Impact beat Minnesota 2-0. So it looks like, at the very least, we're going to have one MLS team make it to the semifinals, so that's good. I don't know if they set that up every year to say we'll have 2 MLS teams play just to make sure that one team makes it in the semifinals. Otherwise, it'd be all Mexican teams every year. I don't know if that's something they do on purpose or something that just happens. I don't know. We'll see. Then we got Santos Laguna 2-2 draw with Pachuca. So that's a very interesting match as well. And then Monterrey beat up on Orlando City 4-0. So we've got at least 2 interesting matches going into this leg. Maybe even 3 if you count the Montreal and Minnesota. Minnesota, I don't know where they're at this year, but they've been at the top of the league for the last couple of years, so maybe they've got enough firepower to come back from a 2-0 deficit. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, we're looking at our team and our game versus Tigres. If you missed the last episode, we can take a look at Tigres real quick. And, of course, they are really good. They've got some pretty talented players, but they're not an overwhelmingly talented team anymore. We've got a team that can match them pretty much. Other than these 3 players here, Gomez, De Silva, and Saucedo, who are 4.5-star guys. Everybody else on their team, we've got players who can match them pretty much. 4-star, 3.5-star guys. We got plenty of those guys of our own. So, it's not like we're going to be outmatched this game. And we weren't outmatched really in the first leg. They just got a couple of early lucky goals on us. Beto da Silva needs rest, so maybe he'll miss the match, and that might even the odds up a little bit in our favor and give us a chance to win. Now let's take a look at the match preview here. Looks like they're going again with the 4-2-3-1 formation that we do not enjoy very much, but we managed to get some goals against it last game, so that's good. Let's take a look at our team selection. And I mentioned bad news, and here is the bad news. Our one indispensable player, Oscar Sanchez, injured, twisted knee, out 3 to 5 days. I almost quit this save and reloaded because of this, but that would have been cheating. So we've got to. I hate this. We have to rely on some unfit young goalkeepers. Kevin Lure looks to be the man, and the reason is because the one goalkeeper we have been playing, he was not registered. He was not registered to play for the Champions League, so we wasted all that fitness when we should have been getting either Lore, or who's our other goalkeeper, not Malay, Colina. We should have been getting one of these two guys ready, and unfortunately, we couldn't get them ready. Or we didn't think ahead, and we failed to get them ready. So I guess we'll go with Lure, since he's a little bit older, a little bit more talented, honestly. Not much older and not much more talented, but still, got to take what you can get at this point. So it's going to be rough sledding. We're going to have to play the best game we've ever played to keep the ball out of the net, because I don't think Lure is going to have the talent to do it. So we're behind the 8 ball yet again going into the second leg of the Champions League. If it's not one thing, it's something else. Every year, something like this happens to us, and we lose a key player that we cannot afford to lose. Other than that, though, we are perfectly fine. We managed to keep everybody else on the team together and pay for their salaries and register them and all that stuff. So joining Lure, we've got Cole and Hernandez at the fullback positions. We got Ruthven and Valenzuela in the central defense. A very solid central defense, if I do say so myself. Midfield, very good as well. Van de Castile at defensive midfielder. Zamora McCrecky at the central midfield. And Ross Gonzalez at the advanced playmaker. So that's a very talented. That's essentially 3 of the 4 starting midfielders for the U.S. national team right there. Or at least 3 of the 4 players who play midfield for the U.S. I don't know if they all start, but they all play for the U.S. national team. And then, of course, we have the 2 strikers, Alcantara and Washington, who also play for the U.S. national team. And I think Valenzuela plays for the U.S. national team. So we essentially have, like you could call us the B team for the U.S. Nationals, playing against Tigres. So we are talented, we are capable. It's just a matter of putting it all together. Now, instruction-wise, what are we going to do? We're not going to go control. We're going to do something strange, but something I've done in the past, which is we're going to do a high-pressure counter system. So we are going to play up the pitch. We're going to pressure up the pitch, but we're going to look to counter. So we're going to get the ball, go just play more direct passing, because that's how we got our goals against Tigres in the last match. And they're playing at home. They might not be expecting it. They might be going a little bit defensive. I don't know. We'll see. They might be going counterattack themselves. I have no idea what Tigres is going to do. But this is what we're going to do, and we're going to hopefully play this system for a winning hand. And, the fact that our goalkeeper is unfit means we gotta stop those attacks before they get to him. Little drink of Coca-Cola there. We can't sit back and let the goalkeeper stop shots, because that's probably not going to happen. So we've got to intercept the ball down the field in the opponent's half if possible. So here we go, the pre-match press conference. I believe Tigres have enough quality to see off Dallas. All things were square in the first leg. Los Felinos can take advantage of playing at home. Los Felinos, the Cats. Let's see. The absence of Sanchez is sure to be felt. How hard will it be without his services? Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Obviously, I'd rather have had him available, but I believe in the team scheduled today. That's fine. So here we are, same thing as the first leg. We're running with the diamond. They're doing the 4-2-3-1 DM wide. All right, let's see what we can see, and let's do what we can do. Close down on these people. So they've got Salcedo back at fullback. There's Beto da Silva. He's tired. He needs a rest, so maybe we could take advantage of him. Although he does have Salcedo backing him up at that right back. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. We need to mark Salcedo just to make sure he doesn't get a lot of crosses or anything like that. Having those two guys on the same side of the pitch is difficult for us to go after. They're going to be on the left side, so they're going to be going after our youngster. And here we are walking out onto Tigres home field. Lots of blue and yellow everywhere. Hopefully there's a little bit of red in the stands too. Let's let them go down that sideline. We should be able to handle them on the right side. There's Zamora with a nice steal. That gets things going. Here they are with a free kick. Two minutes in, and they got a goal on our young inexperienced goalkeeper. This eminently stoppable shot. I mean, he gets there, so he's got good speed to get there. He just doesn't stop it, unfortunately. So there we are, first 2 minutes of the game, and we're down a goal. Not good, not good. So we need to come back, and we need to win this game. We need to win at least 2-1. Should try more crosses. All right, we'll give it a shot. Van de Castillo gets a yellow card early. We don't need this. Don't need this at all. Salcedo gets a yellow card. That's fine. I'd like to see some chances here. I'd like to see some opportunities. So right now the clock is just ticking. Our life is just dribbling away from us here. All right, 30 minutes down. We got to do something. We can't just let this go on. We got to attack. I don't know. We've got to attack and do something. I don't know what else we can do, honestly. Other than go on the attack and see what happens. Doesn't matter if we lose 3-0. We need goals. We need to score. It's not working. It's not working. All right. We got to figure something out for halftime. Passionate. Come on, boys. I know you can do much better. All right, so let's try to control the ball. You know, maybe they're going to let us control the ball and see if we can get some opportunities that way. We're going to go wide and play the ball wide. You know, I've got no idea. I haven't seen any highlights, so I got no idea what kind of team we're going against here, what kind of tactics they're using. So we're going to get stuck in. We're going to do everything we can do. Just try a little bit of everything. We need the ball, we need shots on goal, and we need to score. That's not what we need right there. That's no good. Turn the ball over immediately. All right, let's build up the attack. Get it to Washington. Washington, get it forward to Alcantara. Nope, he's going to get the foul. Benitez gets a yellow card, so we might get an opportunity here. Van de Castillo going to drop it off. Here's McCrecky. Turns it over. Come on, boys. Passionately concentrate. Here we go. We're still going with this highlight to Zamora. Gonzalez. We are controlling the ball, so this is okay. Alcantara gets it out wide to Cole. Cole centers it into Washington. He's got the upper hand. He can't win the header. McCrecky to Zamora. Zamora, can he get it out wide? No, it's intercepted by Zinga. Is he going to mess up? No. Oh, look out. They're on the counter attack. Gonzalez. Score. Yep, we can't rely on our goalkeeper to stop those shots, unfortunately. Gonzalez just an easy charges straight at our goalkeeper, and goalkeeper comes out, unfortunately. The one injury we could not sustain is terrible. Here's Gonzalez with a free kick. There's a goal. There's our guy with his first goal of the season, Gonzalez. So that breathes a little bit of life into this affair. Would have been much better if it was 1-1, but you know what? If we get the next goal, if we get a 2-2 draw again, we're going to overtime. "60 minutes gone. Still just I don't know. Let's pause it here. Let's take a look at these instructions. Let's take those off of there. Let's look for overlap on the fullbacks, I guess. Don't know what else we could do. So, okay, let's just go. Let's go. Come on, we need a goal. 68, 69. All right, we're past the 70-minute mark. Let's make some substitutions here. We'll bring in Guevara for McCrecky. We'll make him the box-to-box midfielder. I guess we'll get that yellow card out of there. That's pretty much the only thing we can do right now. Bring in Abdul Ghani, make him, yes, the ball-winning midfielder. All right, let's go. We need that second goal. There is just no two ways about it. All right, here they are with a free kick. Let's get the steal. This doesn't look good. We're not on the counter attack. Oof. What is happening here? The ball is just, that's offsides. Thank you. All right, instructions. Let's go more direct passing. I mean, I don't know. Overload. I mean, we got to go forward. '77, '78. '82 minutes down. We got to do something. I mean, we can't just sit back and do nothing. So, I guess we push forward, right? Push forward. Is there anybody that we need to get out of there? Maybe. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll make our last substitute. We're going to sub out Gonzalez. for Ben Manning. I'm going to let him be... we'll let him be the... no, we're going to switch around. We're going to put Washington in the middle. You know, we got to go crazy. We got to do something. Target man support. Manning is going to be the advanced forward attack. Alcantara is going to be the complete forward attack. These guys are in attack. Abdul Ghani, ball-winning midfielder, sure. Support. Kavira box-to-box. Zamora in attack. Put everybody in attack mode. Let's go. Passionate. Show me what you got tonight. I want to see a good display. I mean, we got no choice here. We got to push forward. Last 10 minutes of the match. Got to go. There's a terrible throw in, but Guevara saves it. Gets it. Oof, that was a long shot. We got our 3 best strikers out there now. Somebody's got to do something. We got 1 minute of stoppage time to get the goal that we need. Here it is, the last attempt. 15 seconds, corner kick. No good. Guevara gets it. He sends it back in, straight to the goalkeeper. We're going to lose by 1 measly goal. So close. So close. Despite the final score, I am pleased with that. I mean, we did the best we could without our top goalkeeper. I mean, we let 2 goals in, but even that, the fact that we only scored 1, that wasn't going to do it for us anyway. Well, unless we kept them, unless we beat them 1-0, which probably wasn't going to happen. But anyway, we gave TIGRES all they could handle, honestly. Just couldn't do it. I'm so disappointed. So disappointed. All right, so let's take a look at what we've got going on the rest of the season. Schedule coming up, we got NYC FC in our first MLS game of the year, and then, of course, we got the U.S. Cup at the mid-season point. So unless something comes up between now and then, we'll just play the 4th round of the U.S. Cup versus unknown team, most likely Houston, but we'll see about that. And then I don't know. This could be our last season with FC Dallas. We'll see how I feel at the mid-season point, if I'm re-energized or what. Because we're gonna have to make some roster moves. We saved a lot of players just in case we needed them in this Champions League run. The likes of Acosta and Johnson and Zimmerman, they're all 30 years old. They're all, quote-unquote, looking for new challenges. You know how that goes when they come to you and say, hey, boss, we're looking for a new challenge, meaning they're not starting anymore and they want to go somewhere else and play. But they're being professional about it, so that's good. But it still means that their time at your club is coming to an end. So I think those guys are going to have to go. We're going to have to replace them with some of our younger players and let our younger players get in there and serve in those reserve roles. Because our starting 11 is set. I mean, we've got by far and wide the best starting 11 in the MLS. That's the thing about this Champions League competition, is because we've pushed ourselves so hard to compete with the Mexican teams, we've left the rest of the MLS behind. The rest of the MLS just simply can't compete with us because we've been grabbing the best talent and we've been developing the best talent year in and year out, and it's just got to the point where, like I said, we've got half the U.S. national team on our squad. So, yeah. This could be the best team we could possibly build. We'll see how it goes when we start our rebuilding process. Hopefully our new director of youth can start bringing in some better prospects, and I don't know. We'll see. But in the meantime, until then, till mid-season, I guess, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.